Hey everyone,
Hi,
welcome to our YouTube channel. We're calling it Bird Brain Farming,
my name's Angie.
and my name's Patrick. This is really her idea. She's the brains behind this operation, but since we're bird brains, that's not really saying much. Hey, we calling it Bird Brain because we want to really reinforce the thinking that backyard farming is not too complicated and that it's really just a matter of jumping in and getting started. So it really does take a bird brain. We're going to keep this video short to start it off, but what we're going to try to do is chronicle this year's growing season. We're here in North Texas, and it's March 6th.
Yes, March 6th.
And we're going to get some plants in the ground in the next couple of weeks. So look for some new videos. What you see behind us are our raised beds. I've got some good composting going on in here, mixed in some soil, mixed in some leaves and some grass clippings from last year, and almost ready to put the final layer of some good garden soil on top. We're going to fill it all the way up to the top, and we'll get to planting. So we got 3 raised beds that we'll chronicle this year for you. We're going to grow a bunch of peppers, tomatoes. I'm a huge fan of spicy peppers. I actually make a bunch of jams.
I'm not.
Angie's not a fan of spicy peppers, but I am, and the spicy jams are terrific. I give them away to a bunch of friends and they all love it. And so later in the year when we harvest those peppers, we'll show some videos of us making that jam. So this is it, 3 big raised beds that can grow a lot of food. You don't need to build them that big if you're gonna do this on your own. You can start off smaller, but I went pretty ambitious, and so I've got 3 big ones.
I want to show you something that I would like to do this year that I did last year but kind of didn't go on with it. So I'm going to resume it this year, and so we're going to walk right this way, and I'm at the garden beds, and right behind this fence here I'm going to show you a space where last year I started to grow pumpkins, and I'm going to grow pumpkins again. And as you know, if you're a good farmer, you know that we can't plant them when we plant tomatoes and peppers and things like that. You have to plant them later in the year so that they grow and they're ready for fall, because that's when you really start putting pumpkins in recipes. And I'm going to resume it because last year I stopped watering it and they died. So this year I'm going to be more committed to baking with them. And last year what I did was I used a shovel and I dug little holes in the ground and put little pumpkin seeds, and I did different kinds of pumpkins in each row, and I got a chart and I drew the holes and I put what pumpkin it was in which, so I didn't get confused. And there's Gus in the background. And so this year I'm going to keep watering it, and we're going to see how it goes. I'll give you back to my dad.
All right, let's take a quick tour of our yard, because bird brain farming is more than just some raised beds.
Yes.
We are all about having livestock in our backyard. We are urban chicken farmers, as you can see. We call these little guys the Breakfast Club. I don't know if you can see those signs, but we've got 10 chickens back here, 5 that are full grown and 5 that we raised from chicks starting late last fall. They'll start laying eggs here probably in a month or 2. So we're excited about that. Good thing about chickens is that, well, A, you got to keep them enclosed to keep them safe from predators. And once you do put that enclosure around them, it's a great spot to put your grass clippings and your leaves after you rake them all up in the winter.
And to grow trees.
And what they'll do is they'll scratch all that up, and you can even take some of that and put it into your garden. Chicken droppings are terrific fertilizer. So yeah, those are our chickens. You also see our dogs roaming around here. There's Gus and Xena. Gus is the Border Collie and Xena's the Boston Terrier. Final thing before we sign off on this first video, we are going to give aquaponics a try. Aquaponics is a pretty neat science experiment. That's what I'll call it.
A pretty big one too.
And so what we're going to do is we're going to take this food container. It's an industrial size, like food grease container, And what we're going to do is fill up this big section with water. We're going to put fish in there, hook up a solar powered pump that will continuously pump water into a growing bed, which is the top. And so you put a growing medium in there, whether it be clay or lava rocks, you can Google it. And it's basically soilless gardening, and the water from the fish provide the optimal nutrients for whatever you're growing. You don't need to add anything to your actual vegetables. The only thing you have to do is feed the fish. So we're gonna get that going. That's a little more complicated, so my wife is actually leading that project. She has a bigger brain. She has more of like an osprey or a golden eagle brain. Angie has like a chicken brain.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like a hummingbird.
Expensive.
I just flutter around and act busy and pretend like I know what I'm doing. So that's our first video. We're trying to keep this 5 minutes. Stay tuned for more. We will get to planting here in a couple of weeks, and we'll sign back on and show you our journey. Thank you. Angie, anything to say?
Yes, I have one thing to say. Our chickens are very hard to raise. We've gone through like 5 flocks, guys. 5.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's a good point. If you're going to get backyard chickens, be prepared to learn some hard life lessons. I'll just leave it at that. But let me show you what I did in case you're interested. I'm glad Angie brought up that last point because I was going to rush through the chickens. So what I did was, this is a 10 by 10 dog kennel that you can pick up at Tractor Supply or some other store like that. And this provides for them an enclosure that they will go into in the evening, especially if you put a roosting bar. You can see that I put the chicken coop right up behind the actual enclosure. There's the chicken coop where they go in and they lay their eggs. There's nesting boxes in the back. And I cut a hole in the chain link fence and just butted the chicken coop right up next to it, and they go in there. And chickens will go in here in the evening. And so every night I send out one of my kids to, Angie, you want to hold this stick real quick?
Yes, I will gladly hold the stick.
Every night one of the kids comes in here and they will lock it up. You have to make sure you're seeing it. Just like that. And I close up a hole that I cut in this fence to give them access to the bigger run. So, you want to do that every night? Because there are foxes and all sorts of critters that can get in your backyard. Even a wild neighborhood cat who is aggressive can come in and take a chicken or two for a nice snack. So that is it. We will talk to y'all later. Thanks for watching our channel. Feel free to subscribe. We promise to put more videos up. We're pretty committed to this endeavor. This is my daughter's dream.
Yes.
To have her own YouTube channel. So we are going to make sure that we're diligent about posting videos. So until next time, thanks for watching Bird Brain Farming.
Thank you.